Mr. Andrew Madu and Mrs. Oge Madu lived in the serene town of Asaba, nestled in the heart of Nigeria. Their marriage had stood the test of time, spanning over 15 years. Yet, for all the laughter they shared, there was an unspoken sorrow that shadowed Oge's heart. Family pressure weighed heavily on her. Relatives and friends whispered about her childlessness, ignoring the love that bound her and Andrew. Andrew was her rock, always reassuring her with his gentle words. "Oge, my dear," he often said, "you are enough for me. Don't let them steal our joy." But Oge could not silence the ache inside her. The voices of others drowned out Andrew's reassurances, and she began to wonder if their love could withstand the constant scrutiny. One chilly evening, as she carried a basket of fresh produce from the bustling market, Oge's steps felt heavier than usual. Her mind was clouded with thoughts of inadequacy and longing. It was then she heard a familiar voice call out her name. "Oge, is it really you?" She turned to see her childhood friend, Adobe, approaching her with open arms. Adobe's vibrant smile contrasted sharply with Oge's sober behavior. "Ada, it's been so long." Oge's voice wavered as they embraced. Adobe quickly noticed the sadness etched on her friend's face. "Okay, what's wrong? You look troubled." Oge hesitated but eventually poured out her heart. Adobe listened intently and then said, "There is someone who might be able to help. Come with me." Curiosity and desperation led Oge to follow Adobe to a small, dimly lit house at the edge of town. Inside, a prophetess dressed in flowing robes awaited them. The air was heavy with the scent of burning incense. "Welcome, my daughter," the prophetess said with a cryptic smile. "Your heart is heavy, but there is hope. You shall have a child, but there is one condition." Oge's heart raced. "What is it, ma?" she asked. The prophetess gazed towards her and turned solemn. "The child must wear a waist bead for protection until she's old enough to protect herself. Do you accept?" Without fully understanding the implications, Oge nodded. Her desperation blinded her to any doubt. The prophetess performed the ritual and assured her that her prayers had been answered. Months later, joy filled the Madu's household as Oge gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. The day Awele came into the world was one of pure celebration. Andrew's joy knew no bounds as he cradled the tiny bundle in his arms. He named her Awele, meaning beautiful one, a reflection of the happiness she brought into their lives. Andrew's family came to visit, bearing gifts and singing praises to God. The house was filled with laughter, songs, and the aroma of freshly cooked jollof rice. Oge, though elated, felt a pang of guilt as she watched her husband beam with pride. She had not told him about the covenant she had made, and the secret weighed heavily on her heart. As the weeks turned into months, Oge discreetly acquired a waist bead. He presented it to Andrew as a traditional ornament for their daughter. "It's a family tradition," she explained. Andrew, unsuspecting, accepted her words without question. The waist bead was small and delicate, crafted with colorful beads that shimmered in the light. Oge carefully tied it around Awele's tiny waist, whispering a tiny prayer that her actions would protect her child. She convinced herself that it was for Awele's good, though deep down, doubts lingered. Awele grew rapidly, her laughter filling their home and warming their hearts. Her first steps were met with cheers, and her first words brought tears of joy to her parents. She was the light of their lives, her presence transforming their once quiet home into a lively heaven. As Awele grew older, the waist bead expanded with her. Oge ensured it remained unnoticed, hiding it beneath Awele's clothes. She watched her daughter's progress with a mixture of pride and fear, knowing the secret she harbored could one day come to light. One sunny afternoon, as Andrew played with Awele in the yard, Oge sat by the window watching them. Awele's laughter rang out as Andrew lifted her high into the air. Oge smiled, but her heart felt heavy. She had given her daughter life, but at what cost? The covenant with the prophetess loomed over her like a dark cloud, and she feared the day it might bring consequences. Oge's guilt grew with each passing year, yet she kept the secret buried, believing it was the only way to ensure her daughter's safety. But deep within her, a voice whispered that the truth would not remain hidden forever. Years later, Awele matured into a lovely young woman, and life took a new turn when she met Samuel, a charming young man with a kind heart. Their path crossed at a friend's wedding on a warm Saturday afternoon. Awele was helping with the decoration, adjusting flowers on the tables, when Samuel walked in. His presence was commanding yet gentle, and their eyes met across the room. The connection was immediate. Throughout the wedding, they found themselves gravitating towards each other. They laughed, shared stories, and discovered a mutual love for books and music. Samuel admired Awele's intelligence and warmth, while Awele was captivated by Samuel's humility and sincerity. Over the weeks that followed, their relationship blossomed. Samuel would visit Awele's family home, bringing small gifts for her parents and engaging Andrew in lively discussions about politics and history. He showed genuine interest in their lives, earning Andrew's respect and Oge's cautious approval. For Awele, Samuel represented hope and a future filled with love. Samuel's deep Christian faith was central to his life, and he often spoke about his mom, Mrs. Besioke Oko, a devout Christian woman, who had raised him single-handedly after his father's passing. Tessie's prayers for her son was for him to find a God-fearing woman who was neck deep in the Lord's work. Samuel's growing affection for Awele prompted him to share his intentions with his mother. "Mama," he said one evening after dinner, "I've met someone. Her name is Awele, and she's unlike anyone I have ever known." Tessie's face lit up with curiosity. "Tell me about her," she urged, setting aside her knitting. Samuel spoke about Awele's kindness, her laughter, and the way she carried herself with grace. "I want you to meet her," he concluded. "I think she could be the one." Tessie agreed to the meeting, and the date was set. Awele spent hours preparing, choosing a modest yet elegant dress and rehearsing the right things to say. When the day came, she was both nervous and excited. The meeting started well. Awele's respectful behavior and charming smile made a positive impression on Tessie. They exchanged pleasantries over a meal of pepper soup and yam porridge. However, as the evening progressed, Tessie began to feel a subtle discomfort. There was something about Awele, an aura that unsettled her. Tessie observed Awele closely, noting her gestures and expressions. Despite her unease, she could not pinpoint the cause. She decided to keep her concerns to herself for the first time, trusting that prayers would reveal what she needed to understand. Tessie's unease grew after the visit. That night she prayed for clarity in a dream. She saw a vision of Awele with a glowing waist bead. Alarmed, Tessie confided in her pastor, who advised her to speak with Awele directly. Tessie invited Awele for lunch, her heavy heart with questions. Awele, unaware of her mother's secret, arrived ever smiling and cheerful. Tessie began the conversation gently, asking her about her upbringing and family traditions. Awele spoke openly about her parents' love and the joyful home she grew up in. But when Tessie brought up the topic of waist beads, Awele hesitated. "It's just something my mother gave me," she said with a hint of confusion. "I've always had it." Tessie's heart sank. She could sense there was more to the story. Determined to uncover the truth, she decided to visit Oge. When she arrived unannounced at the Madu's household, Oge was surprised and of course became anxious. After exchanging pleasantries, Tessie addressed the issue directly. "Oge, I have noticed something about Awele. The waist bead she wears, does it have a special meaning?" Oge's face turned pale. She fumbled for words but eventually broke down, confessing everything. She told Tessie about the prophetess, the covenant, and her desperation to have a child. "I didn't know what else to do," Oge pleaded, tears streaming down her face. "I just wanted to be a mother." Tessie listened intently, her expression a mix of shock and compassion. "Oge, this is serious. Awele's future may be at stake. We need to address this spiritually." Oge nodded, her guilt overwhelming her. "I will do whatever it takes to protect my daughter." Tessie suggested they involve her pastor. Together, they planned to confront the issue with prayer and fasting. Tessie's firm yet compassionate guidance gave Oge a glimmer of hope, but the road ahead seemed intimidating. Through prayers and fasting, they sought deliverance. Awele, though initially frightened, joined in the spiritual battle. The waist bead, once a symbol of protection, became a symbol of bondage they were determined to break. Weeks passed and the prayers intensified. Oge and Andrew found solace in unity that grew within the family during this trying time. Awele's faith was strengthened and she began to trust in a higher power to guide her path. One fateful evening, as the family knelt together in prayer, the waist bead snapped and fell off. Awele felt an unexplainable lightness, as though a burden had been lifted. The family rejoiced, united in faith and love. The spiritual bond they formed during their struggle became a foundation for their future. Oge, though scarred by her choices, found solace in her family's forgiveness. Few months after, Samuel proposed to Awele, and their wedding became a celebration of freedom and new beginnings. The joyous occasion was attended by friends, family, and members of their church who had supported them through their journey. Awele and Samuel vowed to build their life together on the principles of love, faith, and truth. As the sun set over Asaba, Andrew and Oge Madu stood together, grateful for the lessons learned and the bond that held them strong. Awele's journey had been one of such trials and triumphs, a testament to the power of love, faith, and redemption. Lessons to be learned here. The dangers of desperation. Desperation can lead to decisions that are unforeseen consequences. It is important to seek guidance and remain patient even in difficult times. The power of truth. Secrets can weigh heavily on relationships. Being honest and transparent strengthens bonds and helps in overcoming challenges together. Faith and unity. Strong faith and unity can overcome even the most challenging obstacles. Supporting one another through trials builds resilience and trust in a family. Forgiveness and redemption. Everyone makes mistakes, but forgiveness paves the way for healing and growth. Redemption is possible when one acknowledges their wrongs and seeks to make amends. Finally, spiritual awareness. Not all solutions come from physical actions. Some battles require spiritual intervention. Trusting in higher power can bring clarity and deliverance. The end. I hope you've enjoyed this story. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Bye.